Let's talk about time and what is time. As a natural intuitive, I was born this way, so it's not something that I've studied. I'm not very familiar with this entire concept of the whole 3D, 4D, 5D, timeline shift, time jump, whatever. It's just not my thing. I have always, from a very young age, recognized that time is not actually real. And I know that that sounds really kind of weird, but to me, in my whole life, I've always believed that time was just a measurement. It's just something that us humans use to measure the time past or the time to come. And I know I've mentioned this before, but when people say, oh, well, you're on a timeline jump, well, I'm trying to justify that in my head. And I've actually asked for some clarification on that. And what I got was the same thing that I've been saying multiple times, is that when you were born, it's kind of like you were given this map and you're told you're going to leave from point A and you're going to end up at point B. And along the way, you're going to hit all these milestones, almost as if you're on a scavenger hunt. And at the end of the day, when you look back at the journey you took, you're going to say, oh, I did all these things and I did all these, these little markers along the way, but I started off at point A and I landed at point B and I did what I was here to do. And I kind of feel like that's what the soul contract is you come down here with a soul contract that says you're going to start in Connecticut and you're going to land in Florida. And along the way, you're going to hit a Hardee's and you're going to see a Chick-fil-A and you're going to stop and get crabs in Maryland and you're going to almost get into a car accident and you're going to meet this kind of person at a rest stop. And you're going to have all these adventures and all these experiences along the way, but how you get to those things is up to you. Which exit you take to get off the highway is up to you. Now, also remember that every single thing that you do affects everybody else. So when you put yourself with your free will off that exit ramp, you put yourself in line with all the other people who've decided to take that same exit ramp. It causes you to wait in line at that rest stop. And it causes all these other people to kind of fall in place, and it shifts and morphs and melds their personal path as well. You affect everybody else's outcome at the same time that they're affecting yours. But you're still going from point A to point B. I mean, that's still a thing. You're still going to get there. That's what you intended. Now, here's the thing too. You also have to remember that you might have been told in your soul contract that you're going to start at point A and end at point B. But in your own personal mind, you might be thinking, oh, well, I'm going to start at point A and I'm going to go to point D. And then you end up at B because you were meant to get to B, even though you thought you were going to go to D. That's where plans get diverted. That's where things change. Now, when it comes to a timeline jump, I don't think you're really jumping timelines. I think what you're doing is that you're just going off course for a little bit. You are doing something that's going to divert your course of action down a different thing. You're initiating a change of your direction. You're taking a different highway. Instead of taking 95, you're taking Route 13. And you're going to come across different things. You're still going to hit all those same marked milestones. You're still going to go through all the same issues and struggles and things that you were meant to go through, but you're just going to do it a different way. And that's how I see timelines. And that's how I see timeline jumps. I don't think you're actually jumping to a different timeline. I'm not really a fan of the whole 3D, 5D, unless you talk about that in terms of like a spiritual cognizance kind of thing. I think that you're really just taking advantage of the opportunity to get off the exit and take a different route. And I think that you have the choice. You could take that route by train, or you could take that route by car, or you could take that route by plane. And to me, that's your 5D, 3D, and 4D. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not studied in this. I don't claim to be an expert, but I have been spending a lot of time recently trying to understand this because, like I said, I was born this way. There are certain things that I know and see and hear that line up with some of it. I just don't have any solid answers because I'm human and I'm here to go from my own point A to point B.